قصة ابن المبارك رحمه الله. The story of Ibn al-Mubarak. May Allah have mercy upon him. روي أن عبد الله بن المبارك كان يغزو عاما ويحج عاما. It was narrated that Abdullah ibn al-Mubarak, this is a great scholar from the Salaf, he used to participate in the invasions once, every other year. Every other year he would do that, and he would perform Hajj every other year. One year he would go to jihad, one year he would go to Hajj, and like that, every other year. What a life. MashaAllah. That sounds so beautiful. Maybe make something more clear for you here. What happens when those mujahideen go, when back in the day, for example, when they would go to war and they would win, then they would reap the rewards of that, the spoils. They became rich. They became very wealthy. They got a lot of money. They got slaves and anything else they got. And sometimes they would still be getting money coming in that they didn't even collect before. So it was like a living for them. For some of them. If they die as martyrs. If they win, then they will profit. And it enables them to live. And for example, they just maybe don't have to work or something for a while. So Allah gave him this lifestyle here. He would go to the jihad one year and then make Hajj one year. ففي عام من أعوام حجه في سفره إلى الحج. So one year, one of his Hajj years, during his journey to Hajj, وجد في مغارة امرأة تلتقط هرة وتذبحها للأكل. وجد في مغارة امرأة تلتقط هرة وتذبحها للأكل. He discovered a woman in a cave trying to catch a cat so that she can slaughter it to eat it. فذكرها بالآية. So he reminded her about the verse of the Quran. إنما حرم عليكم الميتة والدم ولحم الخنزير وما أهل به لغير الله. So he recited this ayah to her. He reminded her about this ayah. Merely forbidden for you is the carcass and the blood. That means the flowing blood and the flesh of the pig, and that over which other than God's name was raised, as if he does not use this ayah the way Imam Malik does. فَأَجَابَتْهُ بِبَاقِي الْآيَةِ. And so she responded to him by reciting the rest of the ayah. فَمَنِ اضْطُرَّ غَيْرَ بَاغٍ وَلَا عَادٍ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. But anyone who is forced, not transgressing against anyone else and not crossing the limits for himself, then there is no sin on him. Indeed, Allah is forgiving, merciful. So then she's making a point to him. She's telling him something about herself. She's insinuating something. فَلَمَّا عَلِمَ بِأَنَّهَا مُضْطَرَّةٌ مضطرة لتطعم أولادها الجياع الذين عضهم الجوع بنابه الذين عضهم الجوع بنابه وشارفوا على الهلاك. So when he knew that she was needy, in need of something to feed her starving children, her children who had been bitten by starvation with its fangs, her children in whom starvation sank its fangs. وَشَارَفُوا عَلَى الْهَلَاكِ, and they were on the verge of doom. وَلَمْ يَجِدُوا سِوَى الْمَيْتَةِ أَعْطَاهَا سِوَى الْمَيْتَةِ وَلَمْ يَجِدُوا سِوَى الْمَيْتَةِ, and they didn't find anything to eat but a carcass. أعطاها ما كان معه من مال وطعام. He gave her whatever food, whatever money and food he had. He gave her any money and food that he had, إلا ما يكفيه للرجوع إلى بلده, except what was enough for him to get back to his town. Subhanallah. ولم يحج تلك السنة, and he did not perform pilgrimage that year. فلما رجع الناس من الحج جاءوا يهنئونه بالحج. So when the people came back from Hajj, they came to congratulate him for pilgrimage. فقال لهم بأنه لم يتيسر له هذه السنة. So he told them, I wasn't able to do it this year. فقالوا له كيف هذا وقد اجتمعنا بك. They said, how's that? We met you there. ورأيناك في عرفات وعند الكعبة. We saw you at Arafat. We saw you at the Kaaba. وفي منى والمسعى. We saw you in Mina. We saw you making sa'i. وقال أهل العلم. So the people of knowledge said, هذا ملك أرسل بصورته فحج عنه. This was an angel sent in his appearance and performed Hajj on his behalf. Subhanallah wa bihamdi. It's very beautiful. If that's the case, it means it's not a case of a doppelganger. And what I know about the doppelgangers, I mean, how some of the awliya have copies of themselves, that those doppelgangers, their bodies are not really as dense as the original body. And he controls it. The wali controls that. That's what I know. And I made a comment for you here, as if he doesn't use this ayah like Imam Malik does. So I cannot talk at length. I ask Allah to grant me the knowledge to be able to talk at length about this. Ameen. Which is that Imam Malik takes a very different take on the rules of halal meat than Ash-Shafi'i. This ayah, for example, إِنَّمَا حَرَّمَ عَلَيْكُمُ الْمَيْتَةِ. Innama is for hasr, that means merely, only. Limitation. Hasr means limitation. Limited to. Harrama alaykum wal mayta, as if to say, the only thing that's forbidden for you is the carcass. Wadam, and the blood. And the blood here means the flowing blood that's known from another ayah. Because the Quran is interpreted by the Quran. You put the ayahs together to know the meanings. وَلَحْمَ الْخِنْزِيرِ, and the flesh of the pig. Yes, yani all of the pig though. Not just the flesh, all of it, anything of it. The flesh is merely mostly what the people want of it. وَمَا أُهِلَّ بِهِ لِغَيْرِ اللَّهِ, and anything over which other than God's name was raised. And there's some other ayahs like this that have this meaning to say this is all that's there. From here, Malik took a very different take on the rules of halal meat and haram meat. According to Malik, what I learned is that a person could slaughter a cat and eat it. It won't be haram. Or something else. All sorts of things that would be haram according to Ash-Shafi'i. If you slaughter it, would be lawful according to Malik. السيوطي وابن عقيل. السيوطي رحمه الله and Ibn Aqil. السيوطي لو وزعت أوراق مؤلفاته على عمره لزادت. السيوطي had the pages of his offerings been distributed over, maybe this means the days of his life, those pages would be more. MashaAllah. Just though, as if it says by itself, had the pages of his offerings been distributed over his life, ala umurihi, lazadat, they would have been more. مع أنه كان عنده أشغال غير تأليف, despite that he had other things to do besides author. ومع أنه وأمثاله كانوا يبرون الأقلام بريا, and despite that, him and his likes were sharpening their pens. Yani, that takes time. As opposed to having pre-filled pens that actually last for a decent amount of time too. Maybe you could fill a whole book with one pen, a whole notebook. اليوم نحن مع تيسر الأسباب المسهلة. Today, we, with the advantages and the easy means, لا يبلغ جهدنا عشر جهد أولئك. Our effort, our exertion does not reach even 1/10 of theirs. So, yani, if you want to try to be like this, then what you have to do is really give your time appreciation and think about how much reward you can get and how much reward you are missing as your time passes. After you spent 10 minutes doing something, or 15 minutes, or 20 minutes, or whatever amount of time, then think about the reward that you could have gotten in that time. And let's say it wasn't even something sinful. So that's why if you are going to watch a movie, for example, make dhikr, or watch TV, make zikr. Don't just sit there and stare at the box or stare at the screen. Because you're letting time pass without getting reward. These ones, what was an indication of their intelligence? That they don't let any time pass without doing something rewardable. No matter what, the Sheikh will be given a lesson. And if he stops for some reason, maybe someone's asking him a question, or I don't know for what reason he might stop, his tongue will still be saying La ilaha illallah, even if his lips are not moving. And make goals for yourself that you want to finish before you die. You say, this thing here, I want to finish it before I die. That means I need to get up in the morning so I can do it. It's not going to be done tomorrow, though. It's not going to be done tomorrow, but I need to get up in the morning tomorrow so I can work on it so it'll get done one day before I die. These scholars were pumping out books, massive ones sometimes. اليوم نحن مع تيسر الأسباب المسهلة لا يبلغ جهدنا عشر جهد أولئك. Today, with our easy means, our efforts do not reach a tenth of the efforts of those. واحد اسمه أبو الوفاء ابن عقيل. There was one. His name is Abu al-Wafa ibn Aqil. ألف 800 مجلد من الأجزاء الصغيرة. He authored 800 booklets. 800 booklets. A booklet is a small book. وله كتب أخرى. And he has other books. وكان له أشغال. And he had other business. يعني other things to do besides authoring. يدرس. He was teaching. ويعمل لمعيشته كغيره من الناس. And he was working for his livelihood like anyone else. أولئك كان الوقت عندهم ممتدا. For those, the time was extended. اليوم الواحد لهم كألف يوم بالنسبة لنا. It says one day for them was like 1,000 days for us. So this statement here, yeah, that's what we read. But what I can say is that those people had a blessing in their time. Allah blessed their time. And you can get blessings in your time. Do you know it's a very good way to have a blessing in your time? Like as if you have more time. Like your time is, you have more time in your day. I wonder if you know. 5, 4, or if you've experienced it. 3, 2, 1. Let's see what you have here. Do a good deed every hour. I would say praying at the beginning of the time. Perform the prayer at the beginning of the time. Inshallah, you'll find a blessing in your time. You said, are they limited, the doppelgangers? What do you mean? Certain number of them? I don't know. I never heard.
Like when they say about Sheikh Abdullah من الأبدال بيقولوا هني كذا رقم من الأبدال. That's what I meant.
No, yani these are two different things though. The Abdal are a group of awliya. They have a number which is 40. If one of them dies, someone will take his place. And there will always be 40 of them.
Barakallahu fi.
I mean, now. So then, inshallah, you have blessing in your time. And also, how do you get blessing in your time? Al-Ghazali said, make a schedule. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he said. Make a schedule for yourself. So you say, from here to here, I'm going to do this. And from here to here, I'm going to do this. And like that, and you follow your schedule. And then you will find a blessing in your time. Subhanallah. May Allah enable us to be on time and responsible and busy with the good and not lazy. Ameen. Subhanallah. Al-Imam Ahmad al-Rifa'i radiyallahu anhu. Imam Ahmad al-Rifa'i, may Allah accept from him. يقول الله تعالى في القرآن الكريم. Allah Ta'ala says in the noble Quran, ألا إن أولياء الله لا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون الذين آمنوا وكانوا يتقون. Hear ye, indeed God's saints shall have no fear, nor shall they grieve. Those who believed and they were God-fearing. You know what we learned about the condition to become a saint. To do all the obligations, avoid all of the sins, and to do at least one optional deed consistently. And what this means is that you have to go through an extended time without any sin. No sin. Extended time. They asked the Sheikh, can a person become a saint in a year? He said, yes. And they asked, in half a year? He said, yes. And know that it is more challenging for the women to become saints than the men, though it's not impossible. سيدنا أحمد الرفاعي الكبير رضي الله عنه كان علما شامخا. Master Ahmad al-Rifa'i, senior, may Allah accept from him, he was a landmark. وَجَبَلًا رَاسِخًا, and a firm mountain. وَعَالِمًا جَلِيلًا, and a noble scholar. مُحَدِّثًا فَقِيهًا, he was a hadith scholar and a jurist. مُفَسِّرًا, and a Quran interpreter. ذَا رِوَايَاتٍ عَالِيَاتٍ, in fact, a narrator of high narrations. وَإِجَازَاتٍ رَفِيعَاتٍ, and he had many licenses and permissions. قَارِئًا مُجَوِّدًا, and he was an expert reciter. حَافِظًا, and he was a hafiz. So, as if it means a hafiz of hadith. And we would expect that he's a hafiz of the Quran. حُجَّةً مُتَمَكِّنًا فِي الدِّينِ, he was an evidence. I don't have some other words to explain that here. And firm in the religion. سهلا على المسلمين, easy on the Muslims. صعبا على الضالين, hard on the misguided ones. Yes. Some people are so soft on the misguided ones. هينا لينا, and he was easygoing. كريم الخلق, and he had nice manners. حلو المكالمة, he spoke sweetly. He said nice. He had nice discussion. Al-mukalamah, talking back and forth. conversation. He had nice, sweet conversation. لطيف لطيف المعاشرة, and easy to live with. لا يمله جليسه. Anyone who was sitting with him did not bore him. SubhanAllah. I really love this religion so much. And may Allah raise the rank of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam. If someone does not learn the knowledge of the religion, then he will be shut off from a lot of understanding. ولا ينصرف عن مجالسه إلا لعبادة. And he would not leave his sessions but for worship. That's really very strong thing here. Subhanallah. This shows that he's not a selfish man. He does not get bored with who's sitting with him, and he does not leave his session but for worship. So as opposed to what? As opposed to someone who says, all right, y'all, I'm out. I want to go do something else now. Hamulan lil adha. One who tolerates, who bears the harm. So he doesn't lash out because of being harmed by others. Wafiyan idha ahad. And he fulfills his promise when he makes a promise. Saburan ala al-makarih. And very patient over hard times or during hard times. Wafiyan ala wafiyan idha ahad. He is fulfilling his promises. Very important. All these things so nice. Saying these things make my heart feel nice. Thinking about them and wanting to be like that makes me feel good. MashaAllah. And maybe sometimes if you found yourself doing any of that, then Allah Ta'ala would make you feel happy about the guidance that you got from the religion. Jawadan min ghayri israf. And he was generous without being wasteful. Mutawadi'an min ghayri dhillah. And he was humble without embarrassing himself. Humble without making a fool of himself. Or without being inappropriate in his humbleness. He was humble, but not a lowlight. Yeah, it's like saying he was low, but he wasn't low. He was down to earth without being low. Kalziman lil ghayz. And he had self-control over his anger. He had control over his anger. Very important. Not having control over the anger, very not good thing. I don't have to tell you if you are someone who has that or has to deal with that. One might say this is a level of immaturity, this lack of controlling one's anger. Being a hothead. And goodness does not come from it. And it damages relationships. If you have that, calm down because it's not good for you. It doesn't help you. Don't be someone who harms yourself. I remind myself. Do what is beneficial for yourself. One person said to me, I am like this and like that and like this and like that. The people find me repulsive. If they see how I am, if they see my posture, if they see how I breathe, if they see how I am, they will not like me. And something like this, he says to me. He said, but I want to be around the people. So I told him, then stop doing like that. So I guess it's easier said than done. But yeah, at the end of the day, then don't do like that. Yeah, you fix your posture. And yeah, try to breathe well if you can't. If you can't, then you can't. Nobody really holds it against someone if he has some physical problem. Subhanallah wa bihamdih. But sometimes I'm getting away from the book a little bit here. Sometimes a person has awkwardness, doesn't know how to interact amongst people. It's like he doesn't know how to be a human, doesn't know how to be normal. That's a problem, because then people are not going to like you. It's true. They're gonna find you weird at the least. And then also, man, dare I say, man or woman, then maybe you won't be able to get married because it's too weird. You're going to chase somebody away. Okay. So, Calviman lil ghayl, he was able to detain his anger. He had self-control. And this also is something praised in the Quran. Praised in the Quran. In two places that I know. One place in Surah Al-Imran and also in Surah Yusuf. وَهُوَ كَظِيمٌ. Yaqub, Prophet Jacob was Kazim, one who detains his anger. When we say detaining the anger here, means like you have a pot, it's ready to explode. The lid is ready to blow off and hit the ceiling, but it doesn't. Now, Kafir is going to tell you, you need to let it out or else this is harmful. Does he have a proof for that? Well, he's going to say, I have a degree. I have a degree from the university about that. I have a master's. But I'm going to say, well, I have an ayah from the Quran. I have two. The Quran praises those who withhold that anger, that fury. Maybe the Kafir is going to say, it's going to come out though. So I'll say to you, let it fizzle out. Which, in other words, it means get over it. It's very important to be able to get over something. Get over it. Keep moving. Min ghayri hiqd. He would detain his anger without having animosity. Bahran min bihari shara'. He was a sea or an ocean amongst those oceans of the religious law, seas of the religious law. Sayfan min suyufillah, and a sword amongst God's swords. Warithan akhlaqa jaddihi rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and he was an heir of the manners of his grandfather, his great-grandfather, the messenger of Allah, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. I only said three greats there to make you know that it's a grandfather of several generations, not because it's three in particular. هو أبو العباس القطب الغوث الجامع الشيخ السيد. Here's Abu al-Abbas. I don't know how to translate these. Al-Qutb, Al-Ghawth, Al-Jami'. These are Sufi words. The Qutb, Al-Qutb Al-Ghawth, Al-Jami'. Yani, what I know is it means he was the master saint. He was the master saint, like the saint of the saints of his time. Sheikh and Master Ahmed ibn Ali al-Rifa'i al-Husayni. His lineage goes back to the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam through al-Husayn radiyallahu anhu wa ardah. May Allah accept from him and make him pleased. كان رضي الله عنه من الصوفية الصادقين. He was one of the real Sufis. عاملا بشريعة الله تعالى, practicing God's law. Exalted is he. مخالفا لهواه, going against his own desires. هذا هو. Fighting himself. This person's not going to become wali without this skill. لا يتبع نفسه الهوى. He doesn't make himself follow his desire. It means if he has an inclination, he doesn't just go with whatever his inclination was. So some person, anything he wants to do, he'll just do it at the time he wants to do it. So if he wants some steak, he'll just go get some steak. And he wants to, I don't know, buy a car, just buy a car. Or like this, he wants to do something, he wants to just get some nice clothes, some jewelry, or do something entertaining. Then he will do whatever he wants to do. Even if it's haram. Yani, especially bad is when it's haram. But even if a person is not doing haram like that, you might not become a wali though. Like, you don't do any haram. But if you want a steak, you're going to get a steak. Khalas. You want some shrimp? You're going to get some shrimp. You don't fight yourself. Any inclination you have, you will do it. What you feel like is what you will do. So the pious ones, with the high-ranking ones, they actually deprive themselves. They don't let themselves do all of what themselves want to do. في المأكل والمشرب والملبس وغير ذلك, concerning food and drink and clothing. Sometimes I'm concerned for myself. I feel like a cup of coffee, so I just get up and make a cup of coffee. Mashallah, I can just get up and make a cup of coffee at will right now. Put all the stuff in the coffee machine and let's push the button, come back in a few minutes. Enjoy a nice, hot, tasty cup of coffee. I need to fight myself sometimes. More times. ويقتصر على القدر الذي يحفظ له صحة جسده. And he would just eat what keeps him healthy and wear what keeps him healthy. من المأكل والمشرب والملبس مع بذل الجهد في عبادة الله تعالى. Now he would just eat what keeps him healthy. He would just wear what keeps him healthy. Does this mean his appearance is not good appearance? Just wearing what keeps him healthy. Does he look like a hobo, for example? Doesn't have to be. You could still be looking noble. That's also one thing so nice about Islam. Like you have some clothes, really simple clothes, but they will look nice. Just need long shirt, for example. Inshallah, it looks fine. And maybe you could put scarf around your shoulder. Shawl, for example. If you're not someone who gets too hot. And yani, khalas. And you have something under your shirt. You have on some pants, or some shorts appropriate, or like this. And you look fine. مع بذل الجهد في عبادة الله تعالى, along with exerting effort in the worship of God, exalted is He. في أداء الفرائض, in performing the obligations, والإكثار من النوافل, and doing plenty of voluntary worship. What are some of the things that's going to maybe be boost for you in getting to sainthood faster? Amongst them, it is said, is being in the service of the Muslims. Being in the service of the Muslims, something to get a person into wilayah faster. What's that, being in the service of the Muslims? All sorts of things. You might be sweeping the masjid, or taking out the trash. You might be cleaning the bathrooms. You might be cooking food. You might be serving, standing somewhere with a big spoon. Ladle, that's what it's called. Serving each Muslim who comes past. Being in the service of the Muslims. That's among the things. Now, وكان لسيدنا أحمد الرفاعي حظ كبير بالتواضع. And our master Ahmad al-Rifa'i had a great share of humbleness, humility, and he's very humble. How you know he's so humble? How do we know how high his humbleness is? Because you know how great he is, and you see how he is. You know, for example, I have no idea. I'm just indulging in my imagination here. You know how we are brothers, brothers hang out, sisters hang out too. And some of the brothers, like, they studied, and we hang with them, and they are good brothers, and they might be mashayikh, or been studying, they have more knowledge or less knowledge. So I just imagine, what if we were just like with a Nawawi, for example, and we were, as if he probably would be like one of the ikhwan. He's such a big scholar. Then we were like, yo, that's a Nawawi, but he's just like regular guy in his behaviors. So he's really, really big, but he doesn't act like he's a big shot. He is really a big shot, but he's humbled, like he's just a regular person, or even a small fry. حتى صار يضرب فيه المثل بالتواضع, until he became actually a proverb for humbleness, as if to say, he's as humble as Rifa'i. He's more humble than Rifa'i. That's how you become a proverb. He's more such and such than Fulan. He's like Fulan. وهكذا مشايخ سلسلة طريقته. And that's how the sheikhs of the chain of his tariqah are. The tariqah is like a Sufi madhab. Not a fiqh madhab, not a aqidah madhab, and not a grammar madhab or language madhab. It's like a Sufi madhab. It's like a religiosity madhab. A religiosity madhab. معروفون بين الصوفية بالتواضع. The Sufis know the Rifa'is to be especially humble. وهذا حظ كبير. This is great share. الرسول عليه الصلاة والسلام بين أن أكثر الناس غافلون عن هذا المقام التواضع. The Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he clarified that most people are heedless of this station. Humbleness. Yes. What will help you be humble? Don't think about all the dunya you have. Subhanallah. You know what comes? Something comes in my YouTube feed. There's a show called Pop the Balloon. I think that's what it's called. So they have, you know, if you know it, you know. So they have like bachelors come and look for prospects. So they would ask each person, and what's your name and what do you do? And then each one is so proud to say, my name is Fulan. I'm 34 years old, and I am the owner of this business, and I have this and that and this and that. It's like putting his dunya out there, his world. So you say, I'm like that, and I'm like this. This is what I'm about. Don't let your heart be there. Don't have your head in the clouds about such things. Subhanallah wa bihamdih. Qala alayhi salatu wassalam. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, Innakum lataghfuluna an afdali al-ibadah at-tawaadu'. You are indeed heedless. You is plural. You all are indeed heedless. Yeah, you plural are heedless of the best worship. Humbleness, humility, you know, being down to earth. Yeah. Subhanallah. If you have a lot of money, be down to earth. Just be a normal person. Don't have in your mind you have so much money. And don't let your chest be sticking out. Just you say, Alhamdulillah, Allah made me have money. And you be like the regular people. Don't think you're better than somebody. And if you are beautiful, male or female, you are attractive. Everyone, any person is looking at you. As you walk down the street, you get all the looks. Let this be nothing to you. Don't be high on life here. And you would think that you are something because you're attractive. You could be so rotten inside. You could be such a horrible person. You look beautiful on the outside. And then when someone gets to know you, you're not going to even look good to them. And if you have a lot of knowledge, then also just be humble. Like the regular people, but you're going to, of course, act with knowledge. If you have knowledge, though, it's going to affect your actions more. The regular people, they don't have knowledge. I mean, people who have less knowledge, the layman, if you have less knowledge, then you're more likely to do what is not the better thing to do. The more you lack knowledge, more likely you are to do something invalid, the more likely you are to do something haram, or to do something that's not wise, or to do something makruh even. So, but still, you're going to be humble, bro, inshallah ta'ala. You're not going to act like you're better than somebody. And don't feel like people need to sweat you or something like that. Let's stop here. We didn't even get into the story of Ar-Rifa'i, whatever is here. Do you have any question? Why is it more difficult for the women to become saints? Well, I didn't hear. But what I know is that the women, they have to overcome their feelings. This is something that holds them back. Also, they go through times without praying, without fasting. And fikum. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik. أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك